Hi, Fems. Happy Wednesday. I am Violette de Ayala. I'm the founder of FemCity, and you're joining me today for our Wednesday series. I've invited these wonderful FemCity Global members to join us today in the conversation. Today, we're talking all about sales and marketing. I am so excited. These women are the pros at sales and marketing. We're going to dive in today. We know it's an icky word for some femmes. They don't like the word sales at all. So today, our intention is to help you get really comfy with sales, really get kind of grooving in that sales and marketing aspect. We want to see you flourish and grow. So let's go really quick. We're going to just go do like a little round table real quick for everyone to share who they are. Giselle, just share a little blurb about who you are, what makes you an expert in sales and marketing.
Hi, everybody. I'm Giselle Mascarenhas, and I am a branding coach. And what makes me an expert is I started with PR, then social media strategies. And now I teach on how everybody can show up with purpose on social media.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to Kim. Share a little bit about yourself and what makes you an expert in this field as well.
So I'm Kim Thompson-Pinder, the Extraordinary Word Ninja. I'm Chief Visionary Officer of RTI Publishing and a whole lot of other things. Lastly, the host of the Author to Authority podcast. I have to admit to you, the first 15 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I could barely sell. And if I had to recruit someone and you put a gun to my head, I'd probably be dead because I just could not do it. So I spent many years knowing how not to do it. So once I learned how, and I started RTI Publishing, it has grown incredibly quickly. And I, have worked now with well over 200 entrepreneurs to help them become that author. I'm not saying this to brag, but just to show you that you can go from not knowing how to sell forever. I now sell packages in the thousands of dollars. So to encourage anybody here who is struggling with sales, you can learn how to do it.
Love it so much. Thanks so much. And that I love that example that you shared because that's so many of us. I was like listening to you speak and thinking to myself, I remember being in that place, my first business, and being scared to sell personal training packages. Like it was, and I was going door to door, by the way, which is probably really scary still. Let's go to Lorrie. Lorrie, share a little bit about yourself and what makes you an expert.
Hi, y'all. I'm Lorrie Thomas Ross. I run an agency called Web Marketing Therapy. I'm also known as the marketing therapist, taking the stress out of marketing. I do a lot of diagnosing, prescribing, and guiding, focused on marketing optimization. And I'm a recovering salesperson. I got into this wacky, wild, wonderful web world in 1999. And y'all, we partied like it was 1999, but I digress. We sold those obnoxious banner ads on the internet, which were like all there was. And it was something that was like the most incredible training for me. But as soon as I got over this idea of selling and looked at it as serving, and then my whole world transformed. So I'll leave it at that. I'm excited for today.
Love it. That's a great way to segue into Shannon. Share a little bit about yourself as well.
So I'm Shannon Hinderberger with Shannon Lee Strategy. I'm a digital marketing coach and consultant who takes small business owners from chaos to calm when it comes to their digital marketing, so they're less overwhelmed, get results, save time, and make money. I have been in the sales and marketing space since 1998. Very similar. I was in the space of selling ads, online ads, when it was a new thing. And so that was in 1998. So long time in the space. The one thing I will say is for me, I don't think of it as selling. I think of it as serving. And when you know what you're doing and you're an expert, it just all sorts of comes out super easy. So just being comfortable in what you do and makes a big difference.
Yeah. And I think a lot of serving, being of service, because my next question is, how do you get comfy with sales? Because there are femmes that are going to be watching this later on, or perhaps they're watching it now. And again, if you're watching it now, I never even mentioned this, please feel free to join the conversation. You can ask any of us questions on this topic. And if you're watching this months from now, this weekend, feel free to reach out to any of us on this topic. We're here for you. So how do you get comfy with sales? Because there are so many femmes, specifically those that just launched a new business during the 2020 pandemic and are really kind of like, okay, I've got my services and I've got everything and I'm really passionate about that, but how do I get that first client? How do I get comfy with sales? What would be your advice? And let's go to Giselle, Kim, Lori, and Shannon. So Giselle, what's your advice? You're on mute. Sorry. I do it all the time.
Oh, I that cup. That happens all the time on Zoom. Yeah, you're trying to be respectful and get on mute, and then you look like what I look like. Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, I tell everybody if they're seasoned at what they're doing or if they're new at growing their business, you've got to lead from your heart. You've got to lead from what the value is that those you serve are going to receive. If you start there, that means you're out of your head thinking about like, you know, are they going to want to pay this? Am I valuable enough? You know, am I doing enough? Like all these things that is so normal, everyone. It's so normal. I've been doing this for so long and I still sometimes feel like I'm an imposter. Like, am I doing enough? But you know what? When you start to list out everyone you've helped, you are. So how to begin, period, the end, is getting comfortable with what you do and how you transform people's lives. Because if you do anything that exchanges money for services, you are transforming lives. Once you come from there, the sales start to happen.
Yeah, I love it. And I when I was doing the PR for FemCity, it wasn't sales, but pitching. I had that same block and I was like, I can't pitch FemCity. I can't, you know, like, oh my gosh. And I had to get out of my mind and just say, if I really want to serve others, if I really want to be there and help other women around the world, I need to step into that place, and redefining it in my mind really helped move forward. Kim, your advice.
So 2 things. First of all, it's a mindset, and I see this more in women than men, that I'm not worth whatever, right? So first of all, you have to get out of that mindset. But secondly, I think having a simple system in place. Sales is scary enough, but when you have a system that you use, that you're comfortable with, one of the ways I became comfortable with sales is I love developing relationships. I love providing a lot of value. So I just learned, especially when I started RTI Publishing, is I just provided a lot of value. People would start talking to me. I would ask them questions. I would get to know them. They would ask me questions about publishing. I would answer everything. You know, I provided a tremendous amount of value. Now, I did not provide my services for free. But if you wanted to have a conversation with me and ask me, I'd give you an hour of my time and I'd answer all questions. And so I learned a simple sales system at the end of that conversation is just learning what I call a test close. So it's just a question that's not a direct yes or no, but it's kind of like, you know what? It sounds like this is something you're interested in. And you keep your body really relaxed, no tension, right? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like kind of how are you serious about this, right? So a test close kind of gives you a gauge of where the person's at. And if they're really not interested, then you end the conversation. But if you're getting a 6, 7, 8, or 9, then move forward as if they're going to buy from you. And you don't move forward in a pushy way, but just, okay, if you're serious, here's what I have to offer. And you give them the chance to say yes or no. And if they say no, timing's just not right. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I think that's important, Kim, to mention a couple of times to femmes, like just take that in. It's not about you sometimes. You know, like sometimes we take it so personal, and yeah, it's beautiful. So we have Erin Tarr. Erin, you had a gratitude shout out today in our virtual networking today. So actually I'm going to tag you later on. But Erin says, happy Wednesday, lots of love, and love the glasses. They are a brand. So I'm assuming she's talking about Giselle. And then Extraordinary Word Ninja. She loves that as well. So thank you so much, Kim. So let's go to Lori. Lori, your advice.
So sales and marketing are often treated as like, icky, yucky, stressful. Like when I used to teach in the university setting, like I'd see the body language. And one time I just wrote on the board, and I wrote MARKEDING. And yeah, the smart ass in me let the students just cringe that I couldn't spell marketing. And I circled the ED, and I said, it's all about education. What do you need to help your target customer understand? And then all of a sudden the hands are going up. They need to understand this or this, and that I provide more value and that I might be more expensive, but what they're getting is all this. I'm like, that's sales. You're just educating. Like, done. So yeah, don't think about it as marketing. Think about it as marketing. It's educating what you need to help your audience understand. Voice your value and your values.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. And I think that right there works with that mindset that we were talking about earlier, is if you can come from that place of educating people, helping, being of service, then that sales ickiness kind of starts going away, and you start seeing results as well. So Shannon.
So these guys are saying all things that I would say. My whole thing is like impacting. So where are you going to make an impact? What's the impact you're going to make? I've gotten on the call with so many people that are just about making the sale, and you can totally tell right away that they're not about the impact. So I always have, and it's behind here, like I have a little vision board of my ideal client. And so you want to look at that and how you're going to impact Carla. That's my ideal client. And another thing I'll add that kind of Kim said in the process, one of the things that I like to do is a pre-questionnaire. So I will send somebody a link, go here, answer these questions. So when I get on the call with them, I can focus on listening. I already know what their goals are. I already know what they're looking for from me because they've checked a little box and said, I'm looking for this. And I also put a question saying, kind of to Kim's point, like, how serious are you? Because if they say no, then I know how to direct the call. And I use the CRM system which makes great little contact forms that can go on each one of my page. So if somebody comes from a certain page, I know exactly where they came from based on the questions.
Love that. That might be a really good class also to teach, Shannon, is like how to do the CRMs on the websites, because I think a lot of femmes could benefit from that technology. Not to go off on another topic. I'm already pulling out other topics here and there, but I love that advice. So let's start wrapping up. I know because it's going to take some time to share your final advice. I wanted to share for those femmes that are starting to really fall in love with the word sales now. They've heard you guys. They now are getting it. It's about offering, of being of service, offering education, helping others. How are you going to impact their life? And realizing that exchange for money, for your services and the value that bring to this world. What's your final advice for those that are kind of just about to say, okay, I'm going to go do it. I've got it. I'm going to go out and get sales. What would you say to them? So Giselle.
I took out the mute. So I would say I love the whole point I think that Kim made about, building a strategy. You need to have a process and a system in place. So you need to find that within what you do. And the easiest way I always tell people on how to start is I want you to start listing. I want you to start answering this question as like literally do a brain dump. Who you are. Remember, you're not just the business owner or the expert in this certain field. You are also maybe a mother, a wife, a community leader, a board member, right? And then you, with each one of those answers and who you are, what do you do with as that answer, right? As that topic. What do you do? Who do you serve? And how do you serve them? Why? Because relatability is what is going to get you even closer to the sale. It's not just what you do. It's how you are going to help them show up, how you're going to help them be seen and understood at the end of the day. They're only going to allow that vulnerability with somebody they can relate to. So you need to get really clear on all those aspects so that you can be super, super focused on your ideal client and speak to them in what they're needing. So I love what Shannon said about have a reminder about who is your ideal client. Mine used to be Susan, and in the last 6 months, she changed to Debbie because she literally hit the mark on who she is. So every single day I speak to Debbie, right? On even who I am as a mother, a woman, like a community leader, a FemCity leader. Like, I speak to Debbie in all those different aspects. And it really does help in creating those connections. Those sales happen then, because then they're like, she gets me, she needs me. I need her. She gets me, I need her.
Love it. And the relationship building also, I was at that Clubhouse summit yesterday, and one of the questions was like how, we were talking about like how to leverage those Facebook groups, and not that that's not sales and marketing, but you show up in these groups and people will post, buy from me, I'm so great, I am the best, buy from me. And it's like, whoa, wait a moment, like we just met, like take it easy, like, put in there, like, let's get to know each other, like you wouldn't show up at a party and be like, hey, Shannon, I'm so great. Did you know, Kim, I am the best. You would develop that relationship, get to know them, and know how to serve them because you have so much information. So I love that point. Love it. All right, let's go to Kim. Your final advice.
One of the easiest ways to sell is to position yourself as that go-to expert, and then after that, authority in your niche. And we have a problem with seeing ourselves as experts. So let me define what an expert is. If you know something that the person you're trying to serve does not, you're an expert. And I think it's important that we position ourselves that way, not in a prideful ego, I'm the be all end all, whatever. Okay. But for me, I can say I'm an authority in book writing. I've written over 200 books. I've helped hundreds of people, right? I can say I'm the authority. Now, don't ever ask me to draw you something, okay? Like, I have to hire graphic designers. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. And I can sort of edit, but I hire editors for my own work because, okay, I'm not good at it. So an expert is recognizing what you're really, really good in and how you can really serve people with that one thing. But it's also, being humble is recognizing your strengths and weaknesses and accepting it all, right? I cannot do it all on my own. I can't run my company on my own, but I am an expert. And so when you talk to me about publishing, I can answer your questions. So feel that you are that expert to the person that you're talking about. You're not better than them, but you have that one area where you can make a difference in their lives. And when you position yourself as an authority, sales is a part of that. And when you have that confidence, it comes across and it makes the selling process a lot easier.
Yeah. I was laughing on the inside because I remember that when you said, so I'm going to pull out a couple nuggets there, but when you said women have a hard time recognizing that they're the expert, I remember a couple years ago, I was working on my bio with Nikki Nova, who's another FemCity Global member. And she used to write at the time for like Allure magazine and Mary Claire. And she's an excellent, excellent writer. And she was working, she called me a small business expert. And I was like, Nikki, you can't put that down. I'm not a small business expert. And she literally looked at me and she was like, how old were you when you started your first business? I was like 22. She was, and how many businesses have you had? And I was like, 5. And she's like, Violet, you are a small business expert. You've been doing it for 20 something years. And it took somebody else to see that within myself because I felt so uncomfortable going back to what Giselle said, that imposter syndrome, like, oh, I don't know that's me. But women have that all the time, which could be a whole other conversation as well. Like, how does that happen? But love what you shared. Thank you so much, Kim. Let's go to Lori. Your advice.
So my last piece of advice is don't let people should on you when it comes to sales. You should buy ads. You should be posting more on Facebook. You should be blogging more. While there are so many opportunities for you to sell. And I look at all of all your marketing assets, your website, your content, all of that is like you're Batman, you're the superhero. Robin is all of this marketing stuff. It's your trusty sidekick that has your back, but it needs to be aligned with your personality. My personality is not the type that is going to be really like an in-your-face salesperson. But I'm all about like serving and also finding what does work. It's going back and understanding where your best sales come from, who's your ideal client, where did you find this ideal client, and start to understand what really serves you and give your time and energy to those resources, and always push yourself, be open to pivoting and adapting. I think of like a cover letter back in the day when we applied for jobs. You wouldn't use the same dang cover letter every single time. You'd tweak it, and so the same goes with sales. When you copy paste and send something, that comes through as robotic. So it is about being human and just being really tuned into your personality. That's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lori. That resonates so much with everything we're talking about. Shannon?
So I'm going to wrap it up with a neat little note and kind of say something that everybody has said and add on. So we have to know who our ideal client is. We have to be confident in what we do and feel we are the expert, because we are the experts. We are the authority in what we do. We need to personalize the message and stop shoulding. I have a whole post about this next week on Instagram coming. And then if somebody tells you no, it doesn't mean no forever. It's just no right now. And there's actually several people that I talked to about my group coaching. I'm going to give you a real life example. Last fall, that I went back to and personally invited them in a personalized message. And I've been warming them up. I mean, I don't want to say I've been warming them up. I don't think of it that way. I've been building a relationship, but I genuinely want to know about their business. And they were like, I'm so glad you asked. So don't be afraid to ask is the other thing. So no does not mean no forever. It means just not right now. And people want to be asked. They do. Yeah. And you need just to get over the mindset of, oh my God, they're going to say no. Just ask. Because, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, thanks for that recap. That was awesome, Shannon. All right. So how can femmes find you, learn more about the work you're doing in this world, Giselle?
Easiest thing is on Instagram, go to The Branding Professor, or you can go to The Bold Institute. You want to spell it wrong on purpose.
Got it. I've done that before. So I love that you actually have that little tagline now. Kim, how can femmes find you, learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
So there's two things. You can search for the Author to Authority group on Facebook. That's where I do all my teaching and training. I am also doing a webinar on Monday night from how to go from unknown entrepreneur to sought after authority. It's a free webinar. So if you want to register, you go to www.bit.ly/auth, AUTH for authority webinar, auth webinar.
Awesome. Thank you. And you know what, before later on in the day, if you guys can add it to the comments on Facebook so that they can see it for those that are watching over there. Lori, how can femmes find you, learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Go ahead and Google me, Lorrie Thomas or Lorrie Thomas Ross. It's fabulous to look at all my hairstyles over the years too. Fascinating, I must say. I'm on Instagram as Lorrie Thomas Ross, and LinkedIn is awesome too. It's a great way to send me a message and get super dialed in.
Love that. And I loved all your hairstyles, by the way. I've only known you for like 5 years or 6, I don't know, around 5 years. And every hairstyle looks amazing. So I'm going to Google it just for fun later on. And Shannon, how can femmes find you, learn about the work you're doing in this world?
I spend a lot of time on Instagram, so Shannon Lee Strategy, and I have a Facebook group, the Simplify Squad, and I'll drop the link, and you can search it, and you can be part of the community where I just give marketing tips and tricks and free trainings and things like that, discount codes, all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome. Those that joined me today, thank you so much. If you can stay around just a little second after in the green room so I can take a quick picture of us. And for those that are listening or will listen later on, thank you so much for joining us as well. Please feel free to reach out to all of these femmes, follow them on Instagram, on LinkedIn, connect with them. We all want to see you step into that beautiful place of sales and grow your business. We can't wait to hear about all your success. And to learn more about FemCity, head over to FemCity.com. If you haven't tried us out yet, we invite you to try us out for 30 days for free. And we'll be back next Monday. I'm like trying to figure out what day it is. It is Wednesday. So we will see you guys back here next Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern time for another conversation. Thank you so much, ladies.